Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Shakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shanti Mantra. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranam astu nirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha Te mai santu Te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Passage 15. Saya eshaha anima aithadatmamidam sarvam tat satyam sa atman tattvamasi shvedaketo iti bhuya eva ma bhagavan vijñāpayatviti tatha somya iti hovacha. Sahayaha eshaha anima. That which is this anima, this subtle essence. So anima is the state of being anu. Anu means subtle. The state of being subtle, meaning the subtle essence. Aitat atmavidam sarvam. Idam sarvam, all this has this anima, this subtle essence, which is a sat as its atma. Tat satyam, and that sat, which is presented here as the jagat karanam, the material cause of the creation, by saying sadeva swami idamagrasid, that this universe of names and forms before its creation was sat. Like saying that all these pots and pans before the creation of clay. So this is a way of pointing out the material cause. Like what are these pots made of? For knowing what they are made of, we should know what was the state before their creation. So what existed immediately before the creation is the material cause. It was clay. So similarly also, what existed before this universe came into being? Sat. Ekameva Dvitiyam, one without a second. Meaning that in essence there is nothing but Sat. What is Sat? So what is meant by Ekam Eva Dvitiyam? One without a second. It means that what is this Sat? There is nothing else other than Sat. If all these names and forms emerge from there, that shows that these names and forms have no content. But Sat is only content. So these names and forms, this is a very huge thing to say, really. This solid, tangible universe, which we experience, has no content. Swami, do you mean that you can walk through this wall? Wall has no content, you say. Can you walk through the wall? But one who walks also doesn't have content. And so, no content is something to be understood in the mind, not something to be seen by the eyes. So, content is not what you see. What you see, of course, are the names and forms and colors and functions. Whether these things have any reality of their own, that is what is meant by the content. That, as we say a number of times, when you really analyze the names and forms, then the effect merges into cause. So keep on reducing. All of that reduces to Sat. All the names and forms were explained as made up of the three elements, and they reduce to Sat. This body, this individual upadhi or the body mind sense complex also was shown how that also reduces to Sat. His body is the annam, apaha, tejaha, Sat. In that sense it is said it doesn't have any content. Just as the scientists would say that this matter is nothing but energy. Now energy is a substantial thing. Matter is a substantial thing. Energy is not. That means that what appears to be tangible, substantial matter doesn't have any substantial content. So a scientist goes up to energy. A Vedantin goes a step further. That what is even the truth of energy? Energy is called Prakriti, the primordial matter. And in fact, there are these people called Sankhyas, whom the scientists like very much, by the way. They say that Prakriti or the primordial matter is the cause of the universe. There are lots of debates in Vedanta, in the Brahma Sutra also. Ikshate na ashabdam, meaning that Prakriti or matter is not. So the universe appears material. It all appears insentient. So it makes sense to believe that the material insentient entity must be the material cause of this universe, because the cause and effect must be compatible. Orange cannot be cause of apple and vice versa. Similarly also, if the universe is inert, insentient, it makes sense to imagine that the material of which the universe is made also must be compatible, insentient. And that's what everybody says except Vedanta. Vedanta says that the cause of the insentient creation is consciousness. So even energy also, which is equivalent to the Prakriti or Pradhanam, the primordial matter, that also can be further reduced. There is no scientific way you can reduce it. No, there is a Vedantic way. How do we reduce it? By Vada, Adhyaropa, Apavada. So up to that point, you apply the cause and effect relationship and reduce effect into cause. When you come to this primordial cause, then you don't reduce it by any linear method. Then it is by the Bhada, meaning that this is mithya, and it is something superimposed upon the adhisthana. So Sat is the material cause, alright, but Adhisthana Karanam, Vivarta Karanam, not the Parinami Karanam. Parinam means transformation. So Sat gets transformed into, Tejaha gets transformed into Apaha, gets transformed into Annam, gets transformed into body, etc. But Sat does not get transformed into Tejaha. It appears as Tejaha, understand? It's an appearance and not a transformation. That is how all this is appearance. How can you say that Swami is appearance? This is solid, tangible. How can it be appearance? But when I was dreaming and I was talking to you, I did the same thing. In a dream also, suppose we are talking about Vedanta, this is all appearance. This table is an appearance, then also table look very tangible. When you wake up, you realize that there was no tangibility in the dream table. So dream serves a very good example of explaining what mithya is. Vacharamana means mithya. So dream is presented in Vedanta as a drishtanta, illustration to explain what mithya is. Badhayogyam, that which can be completely negated is called mithya. So when we wake up, there is no dream, no trace of dream. There is no dreamer or the dream world. All of that is completely merged without leaving any trace. This is called Badha, which is completely negated. And so, the Vedantin will say that what is the basic difference between the dream and waking? There are some differences. The dream objects are all transient, they last only momentary, and waking objects are long-lasting, etc. Here I have recognition that this clock which was here this morning or yesterday, the clock that is today, in the dream that's not so. In the waking state, same world comes back every day, not in a dream, the same dream comes back. So many differences are there. But as far as the reality is concerned, see, we are talking about reality. Right? Just as the dream world can be completely negated, without leaving a trace, so also the waking world can be completely negated. What can be negated is not real. And we do this every day. The deep sleep state, every day, this waking world, even the dream world, are completely negated. There is not a trace of them. So the waking world, the gross, and dream world, the subtle, all are negated. So what is negated is called mithya. Because even when it appears, it is not really there. Just as the dream, elephants and mountains, even when they appear, they are not really there. Similarly also, just because something appears, just because something is tangible, does not mean it is real. That's what Vedanta says. We are from the birth accustomed to take what we confront as real. And people who are intelligent like Nayayikas go a step further. Not only what appears, but what is useful is real. Vedanta says what appears is not the criterion to determine reality. What is useful also is not the criterion to ascertain reality. Abhaditam, what is ever there? What is permanent? Not what is now here and not earlier and not later. So that is how this mithya is a very important concept to understand. Only then we can understand non-duality. Non-duality is understood, not seen, understand. Nobody can see non-duality. When it is there, you are not there to see. When non-duality is there, just as in deep sleep, you are not there to see. Or when you are totally in non-duality, even the duality of the seer seen itself not there. And therefore, there is no one to say that this is non-duality, because you become non-dual. Non-duality is not to be experienced as a sin, you become non-dual. So non-duality is to be understood in the mind. But Swamiji, duality is seen. It's not understood in mind. But Vedantin asks you, do you see duality? Yes, Swamiji. You are there and I am here. Is it not so? Is not duality? You are there and I am here. You are different and I am different. Is it not so? It's called duality. I see you and you see me, don't you? Isn't it? I see you and you see me. Is it not so? See, people are hesitant to answer this simple question. What I see is your body. What you see is my body. I don't see you who is consciousness. You don't see me who is consciousness. So all these names and forms are like nothing but the icebergs floating in the ocean. They look solid entities, nothing but water. Therefore, they carry out the process of reduction. This reduces to Sat or existence or consciousness. So understand it in our intellect. The process of reduction was carried out here by the teacher, that what appears to be tangible, solid body is nothing but Annam. What appears to be Annam is nothing but Apaha, is nothing but Tejaha, is nothing but Sat. So it is our conclusion that I am experiencing duality. You can't prove. You cannot prove that you are experiencing duality. You conclude that you are experiencing duality. There is no duality of experience. How can you experience it? One iceberg believes that other icebergs are different from that. But that's a belief. Because an iceberg is water, all icebergs are water. Water gets ahankara and becomes iceberg, I'm so and so. But that content doesn't change. If an iceberg is just like solidified water, it's still water. So understand that we cannot even say that we are experiencing duality. You know what? We are interpreting as duality what we are experiencing. We are experiencing all right, but we are interpreting that as duality. Vedanta says what you are experiencing is Sat. There is nothing else. Had there been something else you could experience it. What is Sat? And where is that Sat? Who is that Sat? Tattvamasi Shvedaketa. Don't think I'm experiencing Sat means I'm experiencing Sat as something out there. That is what the equation was completed. That Sat, which is all of this, is in fact you. Meaning what? I'm experiencing myself. So it is not even adequate to say all that is Sat. Or all that is Ishvara, even that also is not complete equation. All that is self. All that is Ishvara still remains. Ishvara is different, I am different. All that is self. All that is I. What do you mean, Swami, I? I am here only. Well, that's what you think. This body is not I. You think that you are this because of identification of the body. If you are the body, that means a consistent experience. If body is my own self, then body should always be there. Is it not so? But when I am dreaming, am I this body? I am now in Rushikesh. Suppose I dream about Salisbury, United States. This body was there in the dream? No? It is a dream body. And when I am sleeping, where is this body? Where is the waking body? Where is the dream body? If body was myself, it should always remain with me, understand? How can you call it myself? It's not faithful entity. What is myself? Fire is hot, it should always be hot. But water is hot, is not always hot. If water is hot, that heat is what? Incidental. That's the nature of water. That's the reason why heat will go away and water will become cool again. So what does not ever go away means what cannot be negated. This body is negated in the dream. Even dream body negated in deep sleep. You can't say body there. Even sense organs are not there. Mind is not there. They're all coming and going. Incidental. Such a beautiful body, you are not there. It's beauty, etc. is all emotional problems. In determining reality, emotion should not come in. So Nyayikas are emotional people. So this is useful. How can you call it mithya? So when you are searching, when looking for truth, I'm not saying become unemotional. What I'm saying, remain objective. By emotion we mean that we don't remain objective. This body, everything is mithya except this one. Only they declare everything is mithya, but this is retained as satyam. No. So Vedanta gives us a vision. Vision that is in our mind, understand, our intellect. Because what are we is nothing but our conclusions, our opinions, our judgments, our understanding. I am as good as my understanding at any given moment. And all samsara is a result of understanding, wrong understanding, Vedanta explains. There is no other reason for unhappiness. So you lost my business, so what? You need not be unhappy or sad because of that. Money came and money went. The cashier every day gets money and goes away from him, The bank director may transfer crores of rupees from one bank to the other. The cashier doesn't feel anything that money has gone away from him because it was not his. If you start calling this my money, then it's going away is your loss. Anyway, just an example. What I'm saying is, it's all our notions which bring out other notions, but basic understanding, when it is wrong, then all understanding is wrong. What is basic understanding? I am so and so, confined to this, different from that. Everything based on that is going to be wrong. And that wrong understanding is the cause of all this sorrow in our life. Nothing, no event, nothing else. You have to think about this. Whenever you feel sad, then think, what makes me sad? Swamiji, this person told me this, and so what? That person told you. Told whom? Swami, my nose is like that, my ear. That's what children always make fun of. Your nose is like a textile chimney. Your ears are like an elephant. That just to make fun. I feel hurt. When? When I am the body. Is it not so? Otherwise? Suppose they say, this part is broken. I have no connection, broken part. Then I don't mind. You are broken. As we say in the morning when something is connected to I, things can be connected to the body. Can be connected to the sense organs. Can be connected to the mind. Can be connected to the intellect. Can be connected to the ego. But if I am not the body, I am not the mind, then it doesn't get connected to me. In that case, I remain composed. This solution to all the problems, but very refined solution. It requires a refined mind. It is true. Vedanta, there is nothing that you need other than this Vedanta. But it's a very sophisticated instrument. But it has the answer to all problems. Nobody has any answers really. Our Swami used to say, psychology cannot solve the problem, and Vedanta does not see the problem. Psychology is a can of worms really. Why you are like that? Because of your mother. Why was mother? Because of her mother. Now this is an endless stuff. You can never determine why you are what you are. It's easy to this therapist will make you feel comfortable. You are what you are because of your father. So I feel comfortable. Then I go and fight with my father. That's what children do. After going to therapy, when they come and they start fighting with the mother. Mom, you did not do this, you did not do that, and so I'm like that. So you can have some kind of a consolation that I am what I am because of their fault. That's okay. But you are there, what are you have to deal with that anyway, isn't it? Even if your mother is responsible, you still have to deal with what you are. I'm not saying don't seek help of therapy or cycle. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that fundamentally there is something wrong. As long as that conclusion and understanding does not change, the sorrow will only change in the form, that's all. Come in a different form. So this teaching, and only this teaching, has answer to all the problems. It can solve all problems of the world, but nobody will listen to us anyway. What is this Sat or existence in one? Where is the division? We have created all the divisions. This is, Earth is one. We divide it into so many countries, and then this is mine. You can't enter. This is my border. I'm going to build a wall here. You cannot enter here. And all the things that I got, all the petroleum, and this is mine, not yours. Anyway, so these divisions are all created by us. They say there is enough for the need of man, not for the greed of man. So on the earth, enough thing grows. In a given region, there may not be enough. Doesn't rain here, rain someplace else. There is no food here, it's someplace else, but this is mine. Anyway, the point is that if this is understood, so mithya, what you are fighting for is not real. By getting all the grains, you are not going to be happier than what you are. You think that happiness comes more you have. That's a false notion. Happiness cannot come to you from outside. Happiness is to be discovered from yourself because you are happiness. So Tattvamasi, one sentence you can apply to every problem. Anytime problem meaning anytime you feel unhappy, sad, grieving. Tattvamasi. Not repeating, seeing that fact. So how to see also we were shown how things are reduced. Simple methods were shown. That's all we need, whether they're scientific or not. You follow? That we can see, yes, that's right, that's how it is. So reduce things. Who is feeling sad? I am feeling sad. Who am I? Swami. Who is Swami? This body, mind, sense complex. What is that? There is Annam, Apaha, Tejaha, Sat. This fellow did so. Who is that one? Again, Shariram, Annam, Apaha, Tejaha, Sat. So Sat interacting with Sat, there is no interaction, but then one of the saints in Gujarat has said, that Brahma is interacting with Brahman. What that sort of thing is. He says, when I wake up from the dream, so then I realize that all kind of things were in the dream. When I wake up, there is nothing. What was dream? It was nothing but the extension of consciousness. So I realize that just as in dream, what was there in the dream? There was only one entity. I was only entity in dream. Is it not so? Who went to sleep? How many entities were there when we went to sleep? I was there. How many entities were there when we woke up? So in between, how many entities were there? All these people, where did they come from? If in the dream I was talking to you like that, where did all the people and everything come from? Only from I, isn't it? And I appeared as the whole dream world. Is it not so? So whole dream world emerged from me, sustained by me, merged back into me. So just because see duality doesn't mean it's separate from me. In dream also, and for I think that I am this much only, so dream world appears to be outside of me. Same samsara is there. Not because there is world, because of my conclusion, understand? Everything is fine as it is. If terrorist is fine, leave him alone. He is a terrorist when I am the body, then he is another body. So that's a difficult problem, I know, but the point is that ultimately what is nothing but the play of Sat. It is sit and think like that. When there is no mind is in the right place, then you enjoy as Lord Krishna says, Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yoga ityatatvadaha. So vikampena yogena yujyate natra samshaya. who appreciates this as my vibhuti, my glory, my manifestation, and yoga is my very true nature. What is out there also is I, Lord Krishna says, what is in here also is I. Who appreciates that. For that person there is nothing but the Lord or the Self. So avikampena yogana yujyate, he gets established in me unswervingly, because in his vision there is nothing but I. If he is the outside world, also with I. With himself, also with I. What a beautiful thing, There cannot be anything more beautiful and more inspiring and, more enlightening than this. It's non-duality. So this one little sentence, Tattvamasi, all the student response, Aham Brahmasmi, can solve all the problems. Our Swami would say, our problems are not psychological problems, our problems are philosophical problems. What is philosophy? This wrong understanding. So, philosophy means all psychological, emotional things come from our understanding. Right emotions come from right understanding, wrong emotions come from wrong understanding. So even source of emotions also is only understanding. That's Vedanta. So Vedanta is part of knowledge because it is ignorance which is wrong understanding which is the fundamental cause of problem. So everybody looks at the cause of problem in their own way and provides solution. In fact, all the dharma, religions and every philosophy is meant to solve human problem. But they will provide you a solution the way they see the problem, you see. If you think that earth is no good, heaven is good, then they will send you to heaven. Or ask, they will prescribe the way to go to heaven. There are many people who believe earth is no good. This world is no good. Other world. That's all they got converted. Christianity started with this. People are miserable anyway and say, you are miserable because you are here, go there. I will tell you how to go there. Sounds good? Islam, little children say in madrasa, this world is no good. You have to go there. Therefore they don't mind even, sacrificing themselves because they are looking forward to going there. Anyway, we are not concerned with, all I am saying is everybody has their own diagnosis of what the problem is. Accordingly they provide the solution. Vedanta's diagnosis is, there is no problem. What is the problem? My wrong understanding of what is the problem and right understanding, you see that there is no problem. Not solves problem. You see there is no problem. Solution comes when there is a problem to begin with. In right understanding, there is no problem. Tattvamasi Shvedaketo iti. So this is how, this is the most profound teaching, most fundamental teaching and simplest teaching. All duality is very complicated. Don't think that non-duality is very difficult. Duality is difficult. When there are truths, then you have to imagine how are you related, what is bheda. All kinds of relationships come when there is duality. This is a simple thing. Non-dual, because truth is simple. Even scientists also say, in fact, more you investigate into this matter, more complicated it seems to become, because it's mithya and it's maya. But one conviction they have, truth must be simple and beautiful. A scientist says, truth must be simple and beautiful. So Vedanta says, what is this simple? What is this truth? So what is this simple? And what is this beautiful? And that is you, not something other than you. Because simple and beautiful other than me is not satisfactory. I want to be simple and beautiful. Nobody says you are the truth. When the Tattvamasi, you are the truth. Sa Atma, so Tat Satyam, Sa Atma. That is the truth. That is the self of the universe. And that is what? That's who you are. So this is how Shvetaketu was taught. And if you already are Tat, you already are limitless, then there is no becoming required in life, isn't it? then what are you trying to do? I want to become limitless. So what are we trying to do is become limitless. Because we love limitlessness, naturally. Why do we love? Because that's our nature. Love for nature is natural. So fire loves to be hot. River loves the ocean which is the source of it. That's why it wants to go back there. So we love limitlessness because that's our nature. But we take ourselves limited. That's called Maya. Why Swamiji? Maya. When Vedantin cannot give an answer, this is Maya. Use such a complicated word that people get, they get intimidated. Maya. When Maya comes in, everybody becomes Maya means you cannot have no answer. That's between you and me, that's what it means. But Maya means don't bother, proceed further. Don't get stuck there. So I am limitless. Why do you think I am limited? I don't know. You think somehow. But it is just thought, therefore it will go away. Had it been reality about it will never go away. But this poor fellow looks himself as a limited being and wants to become limitless. Whole of our life is what? Trying to become limitless. So I want to become wealthy. Thinking wealthy means limitless. Wants to be famous means limitless. Want to be powerful means limitless. Want to go to heaven means limitless. Want to go to Brahmaloka means whatever you want. Desire behind every desire is to be limitless. And you cannot be limitless. Whatever you become is always limited. But thank God, there is no problem here. Most consoling thing is, it is 10th man searching for the 10th man. If I was limited and I wanted to become limitless, it is insolvable. Nobody can solve that. It's not possible. A limited cannot become limitless. Whatever you become is always limited. Thank God, the 10th man can never find because he is the 10th man. It is praptasya prapti, attainment of what is already attained. So this is the basis of all teaching of Vedanta. Even when they teach Karma Yoga, this is the basis. Lord Krishna says that may you become a contributor, may you perform actions without desire. Who can do that? Who can perform actions without desire, without personal agenda? Dedicate yourself to the agenda of others. Who can do that? Only when I have the understanding that I don't need anything in life. That my mind comes up with various needs, that's a product of ignorance, not a reality about me. I look upon myself as a needy person, that's not the reality of me. The one who is free from need thinks that he is needy and then wants all kinds of things. So Lord Krishna says, if you keep on justifying your needs, you will never become free from that, is it not? 10th man believes that 10th man is all, you can never find him. So start from there. Don't accept this conclusion that you are needy. Imagine that you are free from need. Meaning that don't remain a beggar, become a giver. Who can give? One who has plenty. I don't have anything, you have. Fake it till you make it. You fake that you are limitless. Give. What will happen to me? Nothing can happen to you. But anyway, have some, as I said, don't become reckless in doing things. As you discover your inner strength, then you will become more and more generous. It's not that overnight it's going to happen. The whole idea of what we call nishkama karma, or the selfless action if you want to call it, is possible only for the one who has this understanding that it is the accomplishment of what is already accomplished. I don't want to become limitless. I want to discover that I am limitless. If I keep on justifying my limitedness, I can never discover I am limitless. So don't justify it. Even though I feel limited, don't justify it. I know that that feeling of limitedness is not right. The limitless is feeling limited. How? Somehow. So act as though you are limitless. The extent to which, that is what Karma Yoga teaches. So this teaching is the base of all values. All values are based on non-duality, ultimately. Non-violence is a value. Who can be non-violent? Only when I look upon you as myself. Ultimately, non-violence in primaries, in the total sense, can be only if I see you as my own self. Because I am never violent to myself. The one fellow I am not violent to is myself. So ideal non-violence can be only when there is non-duality. But then I practice non-violence, so that I bring non-duality in my life. So all of these are meant to bring non-duality in my life, understand? Not justifying duality and perpetuating duality. They will perpetuate duality. Don't justify. And so, very non-violence, truthfulness, any value can be ideally practiced by the one who is totally free from all needs. It's the needs that in fact come in the way of my practicing a value. Honesty is a value. This need, I need this money. I can't let it go. Non-violence value. I know, but I have to protect this much, this, that, so forth. So you will find that what is obstructing my practice of value? My conclusion of this duality. Of my being limited. Of my being needy. So we are sort of introduced or set on the path, whether it's values or attitudes. Our Swami used to say, Gita is the values and attitudes. Amanitvam, adamvitvam are values. Prasad buddhi is an attitude. Ishvara buddhi, attitude. All these are based on ultimately non-dual. Right now we don't think so. They're based, because if these values are not based on the reality, then you can never practice them. But what is a value today becomes a reality tomorrow, then only it is a value. Non-violence can be a value provided someday non-violence becomes a reality. It will be when I recognize my true nature. I'll be non-violent in a primary sense. Describing a wise person, Lord Krishna says, Atma upamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham vayadeva dukkham sayogi paramo matah. Atma upamyena. Whenever he interacts, then he puts himself as a measuring rod. When I interact with you, what is my measuring rod? I am the measuring rod. In what sense? How would I treat myself if I were there? That's tough. Every value is tough because of my insecurities, etc., because of ignorance. But you try to practice to slowly overcome that insecurity. So our Swami is when you become a contributor, when you discover contribution gives you happiness, then we are encouraged to do that. Similarly also, when practicing a value makes me happy. Even though my mind says, Swami, don't do that, I still do it. Then I have a sense of victory that I overcame a certain impulse. So you can see how non-duality is the basis and should be the basis of life. So karma, all yogas are all based on that ultimately. Whether it is Patanjali yoga also, whether it is chitta vritti nirodha, because they think as long as chitta vritti is there, so long there is duality. If chitta vritti goes away, there is non-duality. So this is their thinking, that chitta creates duality. As long as chitta is there, you will be identified with it. They will completely wipe out the chittam. Tada drashtu swarupa avasthanam. Then all that remains is drashta. Because drishya is gone. Alright. Vedanta says, don't worry, you need not do that. Recognize drishya is mithya. Because mithya means it doesn't have a content anyway. So these are different, what I am saying is, but ultimately everybody is shooting for what? Knowingly or unknowingly. The non-duality becomes the basis. This is Shvetaketo, Tattvamasi Shvetaketo iti. This teaching can be applied in every situation. That requires mananam. So what is mananam? Shravanam is what we have done so far. What is Mananam? Mananam is translating what you have understood into the day-to-day life. What does it mean to me? That I am Brahman. What does it mean in this situation, in this mind? So translating, making it mine. This knowledge becomes my knowledge. Otherwise, it means all examples are given, all I understand everything. But that doesn't remain much. So we have to spend time. Swamiji, it is difficult, this teaching. No, it's difficult. But we have to spend time to make it our teaching. In my life, this is my spouse, this is my this is what does this teaching mean? What attitudes are required? What values are required? How should I conduct myself? What does teaching mean to me in my life? So then alone this becomes a blessing. Otherwise it's nice to know. But what is Mananam? What it means to me. And it's not easy because we are rooted in ignorance and rooted in duality, rooted in wrong notions and conclusions. To recognize that this is from wrong conclusion. This is because of the duality, because of reality I gave to this. Why did I react like this? Because I gave reality to that thing. Why did I feel like this? Because I gave reality to my sense of individuality, something or the other. You will see that fact. That's a Vedantic way of solving the problem. As to what is ignorance? How ignorance has permeated my life. In everything that I do, whatever I do comes from an understanding. What is the understanding? Where is the identification? I am sad, Swami. I am insulted. I am hurt. Who is hurt? The Swami is there. Who is Swami? One identified this body, mind. He insulted me. Insulted my knowledge. Then into the intellect. Who are you? You are a witness. You are not intellect. But I felt insulted because I equated myself to my intellect, to my knowledge. And that gives me pride that I am so and so. And somebody comes, always will come up. Jnane vada bhayam. There's always a fear in everything. The moment we have a notion about ourselves, there's always a fear. If I have the notion that I am a learned person, fear always, some more learned person coming. Life is always spent in fear. Anyway, that's by the way. All I am saying is that this is how we have to see. Whenever at least there is unhappiness, sadness, grief, we have to trace that grief to some wrong notion. There cannot be grief unless there is a wrong notion. That is ignorance. Avidya is a basic cause which brings about this identification, and so the wrong notions. So this teaching is the most practical teaching, provided we take time to translate it in our own reference. It should not remain a theoretical thing, should not remain a general principle. So this is what I call Mananam. That is not what Shastra says Mananam. Mananam means removal of doubts. But they themselves remove all the doubts anyway. In Shravan itself, the teacher removes the doubts. There is nothing much, no doubt has arisen in my mind anyway. But Swami, I never asked my Guru any question. There was no question. Anyway, because the things are very clear. But this is where this Shravanam must expand into my mind. So now what follows here? So far in ChhandogyaUpanishad, Shravanam is done. Now Mananam begins. So the way Mananam is explained is removal of doubts. When doubts arise in your mind, then those doubts must be resolved by a reasoning that is based on the teaching of the scriptures. The reasoning also must be not some reasoning that you brought from someplace else. Reasoning also should be based on Anukula Chintanam, something that is conducive to or in keeping with the teaching of this Shruti. So Shvetaketu comes up with all variety of all kinds of, I don't know. So But we will go through that because he came with all kinds of questions. That after all this teaching, those questions make sense or not is a different thing. But somebody may question. See, questions may come because I've read too many things. The X, Y, Z, this says, this one says this, that one says that, this one says this. And so, questions can come on account of what we have learned from other sources, which we accepted. Because the way we are, when somebody says, yeah, that's right. This fellow says, that is also right. This is also right. So we don't have enough sense in ourselves to see where the fault in their thinking is. And therefore everything looks right. So Vedanta understands Tattvamasi, non-duality. But what about Sankhya? Now those days, these are the fellows. Today there may be so many other fellows. There is no Sankhya and Vaisheshikas, Nayayikas today. All those Shastra dismisses those opinions. Whatever existed at that time, the opinion, those thinkers are negated. These may not be of many relevance to us today. The Purva Paksha that is raised here may not be very relevant today, but we still study them for our own intellectual clarity and sharpness. Because we want to make our thinking sharp and clear. So Vedanta teaches how to think correctly. And that correct thinking then you can apply anywhere. That's the whole idea. And therefore, this may not be my doubt. But it's likely that my mind may come up with this kind of a doubt. Or it may be doubt raised by somebody else. So here Shvetaketu raises doubts one after the other. We will find that this Tattvamasi is taught 9 times. First time is taught. Then Shvetaketu raises a doubt. Then teacher resolves that in the Tattvamasi. 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 How many times? 9 times. So 8 times, so all kinds of doubts are raised. Now normally when fellow asks one question is okay. Second time okay. Third time okay. Fourth time get out of it. Usually we, what's do you have any sense or not? You can see here the patience and the kindness the teacher has. Teacher cannot afford to be impatient if he cares for the student. Meaning that the patience is there because of kindness or compassion. And compassion comes because of the commitment of the teacher that this person should be released from samsara. Now that is his agenda. The aspirant came with a desire, with a question that he wants to be released, then it becomes agenda of the teacher to make sure that the aspirant is released, that he is liberated. And so Lord Krishna asks Arjuna in the 18th chapter, at the end, Kachideda Shrudam Partha Tvai Kagrena Chetasa Kachid Ajnana Sambhut. So, Prashtaste Dhananjaya Moha Ajnana Sambhuta. Hey Arjuna, have you listened to me carefully? What all I said? Have you understood that? And have your ignorance gone? In the 18th chapter, at the end, Lord Krishna asked this question. So there is my doubt is not gone. Then what? No, my delusion is not gone. I'm still sad. Then what? The Lord Krishna had to start again. He had to continue. He did not ask question academically. He meant it. Arjuna, are you released from your sadness? Is your grief gone? Kachijnana sampranashtaste moha dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, your moha, the delusion, is it gone? Delusion, grief born of ignorance, is it gone or not? Did you listen to me carefully or not? Did you grasp what I said or not? And has your grief gone or not? Because that is the whole purpose of teaching. And if that does not serve the purpose, then it becomes Lord Krishna's commitment to continue. Thank God Arjuna said, no Lord, don't worry, I am alright. Nashto moha smriti, my delusion is gone, my knowledge has come back. Come. If Arjuna had replied differently, Gita, we would have more than 18 chapters in Gita. So the point is again, Shvetaketu being who he is, keeps raising questions. Some doubts come in his mind from what has been taught so far. And he asks questions, and the teacher very patiently replies. So, therefore the Tattvamasi Shvetaketu iti, that is where this Shravanam is complete. Then Shvetaketu says, Bhuya eva ma Bhagavan Vijñāpayatu iti. Bhagavan Vijñāpayatu, may the Venerable Sir please explain to me over again. Teacher having spent so much effort and done so much, and for you to say that please explain to me again, But he feels free. Anyway, see, you can imagine what kind of relationship must have existed between the teacher and the student. The student is not intimidated by the teacher. He doesn't know, how can I ask this question? He feels free. Because I guess he feels that he is accepted regardless of how he is. Otherwise, what stupid question are you asking? But teacher did not say that. Even the questions may look very stupid to us, but teacher didn't say that. Very patiently. So, Bhuya me eva ma Bhagavan Vijñāpayatu iti. Oh, when I have a certain doubt in my mind. Therefore, may the man also please explain to me again. Tatha Swami Hovacha. He said, let it be so, my dear. So now we come to the Mananam, where questions are raised one after the other, and how the teacher proceeds to reply them. We will continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.